to the couch. So, as promised, I talked about, in addition to us sharing candid moments with Carson and Connor, I will also upload single mom videos. You know, what it means to be a single mom, the struggles that we're dealing with, and that's what we're doing today. So, today's topic is dating and being a single mom. First of all, there are 10 million single moms in the United States. That's about 25.8% of the United States population. So me knowing that, I'm wondering if other single moms are struggling with dating the way that I'm struggling with dating. So if I'm gonna be honest, the moment that I became a single mom was very discouraging for me. Like, I struggled with thinking that, you know, nobody was gonna want to date me, and I wasn't gonna find love, and who would want to take on that responsibility. And it was a very difficult time for me, and it could be the farthest thing from the truth. You know, there are actually men that are willing to step up to the plate and willing to take on that responsibility. So I think that the bigger task is our is the single mom's consideration of who you're going to get involved with. Like, who are you going to get in a relationship with and expose your children to? Because the moment that you become a single mom, the decisions that you make are no longer just about yourself. They're also about your children and how they're going to impact your children in the long run. You know, at that point you become a package deal. And so you have to be very considerate of the person that you're going to bring around them. So, that's a pretty big thing for me. And honestly, I sat down and I really wanted to consider and evaluate what is it that I'm looking for as far as the man that I want to lead my household and I want my children to be around. That person is essentially going to be the biggest influencer of my children. You know, from him, they'll learn what it means to be a man. And so it's important for me that he has certain characteristics and certain things about him, because, again, he's going to be their biggest influence. So, in addition to the things that we typically look for, you know, just in having a healthy relationship, like loyalty and being faithful and being, you know, trustworthy, I feel like there are, for me, other criteria that person has to meet. So, I got this. So, for my criteria, first and foremost, that person has to have a spiritual foundation. He has to be, or has to have, a connection with Jesus, with Christ. Because I feel like the only way a man can truly lead his family is by God downloading within him the wisdom to do so. So he has to have that connection to be able to lead us down the path, and when stuff comes up, you know, for him to have the wisdom that he needs to, it has to come from God. So he, first and foremost, has to have that spiritual foundation. Secondly, for me, he got to be willing to foster that bond and that relationship with my children. It has to be important for him to have that connection with them. And my being a therapist, I've encountered several families where that wasn't, I guess, established first and foremost. And I can't tell you the strain that it causes on not only, you know, the parental relationship with you and your children, but also, you know, the romantic relationship with that parent and their spouse. You know, if they don't have the frame of thought as to that your children are also their children, then I just don't feel like it's gonna be difficult for and not to have strain on all of the relationships, you know. Thirdly, he has to be driven. He has to be motivated. Again, this person that I'm going to be involved with is going to be their example of what it means to be a man. And I want them to grow up to be very driven and motivated men. I want them to see what it means to be hardworking and to support your family and to take care of your responsibilities. And so that's very important for me, for the person that I'm going to get involved with, for him to be able to set that example for them going forward. Fourthly, he has to be patient, especially with my two, because They a lot. And I realized that. So he got to have the flexibility. He has to be able to have the patience to deal with the things that are going to come up, to deal with the behaviors that are going to come up. And I think that's with having children in general. You know, you got to have patience and understanding that stuff is just going to happen, you know. And so he has to have patience. So let's talk about time. You get different advice on this. So some people say that, you know, if you're going to date somebody, you need to wait until you introduce your children to them to know if it's really going to work. Other people will tell you to do it sooner than later. My opinion is that it needs to be sooner than later. And I'll tell you why. So, say you date somebody for a year and a half, and you make the decision to not introduce your children sooner in the relationship. And then that year and a half passes by, and then you introduce your kids, and it's a catastrophe. Like, it goes terribly wrong. I feel like that's a year and a half that you've wasted when that's such a big factor into the relationship. And so I think that if you introduce kids to whoever it is you'll be dating sooner on, you'll have an idea of whether or not that relationship is going to work. It's going to impact your decision going forward. So that's my view. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts on, I guess, everything that I've talked about in this video. And, you know, what are the things that you're doing to help you to be successful in dating? What's some advice that you can give me? I'm very interested to know, you know, the different things that you're doing and your opinion on this subject matter. Of course, feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, you know, whatever's going on with you, I'm interested to hear as far as this topic. And I want to thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe so that you can see when other videos come up. And I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you. Bye-bye.